What's going on, Knicks fans, and welcome to Knicks In Six right here on MSG Networks YouTube page. I'm Kaz. That is the wonderful Bill Pidto. And we had a little bit of a heartbreaker against the Minnesota Timberwolves last night. So let's break down all the things that we liked and we didn't like from that heartbreaker 2-point loss against Minnesota. Bill, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, it was one of those games, right? I mean, we live and die with the outcome. And last night was a gut wrencher, to be sure. Positives. Number one for me, hey, if Kemba Walker is going to do that on a nightly basis, before this game, they were 14-10 with him playing. And obviously they got the loss, but Kemba Kaz, 19 points, played nearly 30 minutes, 10 of his 19 in the fourth quarter. If he can stay healthy, and hopefully that knee doesn't flare up, and he can keep doing that, it's going to change, in my opinion, the entire complexion of the second half of the season, because it's amazing to me. He misses 9 games, and he comes out and does that. Remember, he was basically out of the rotation for 10, came back and had that amazing stretch before he got hurt. He's astounding in that he can just step on the court and do something like he was able to do against the Timberwolves. Hopefully, this is a sign of good things to come.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we forget that this is really a point guard's league. And as good as your team is, if you're not getting scoring from the point guard position, you're going to struggle to win a lot of games. So seeing that from Kemba was really encouraging. Let's just hope he stays healthy. Another positive I want to take away from last night was Evan Fournier. I mean, he's been much maligned from Knicks Twitter and a bunch of fans about his play of being a little bit inconsistent. But you got to give it to him when it's a big game, especially at home. Especially when the eyes are watching of the national audience. Evan Fournier always seems to step up, and he did it again last night. 27 points, a lot of big shots. I mean, ice water in his veins. And I know a lot of people may have rolled their eyes at the beginning of the season when Evan was saying, I play a lot better in the fourth quarter, because in the beginning of the season, wasn't getting a whole lot of time in crunch time. But he's really shown that, when the game's on the line, he's not afraid to let it fly. And Julius Randle trusts him a lot. Like, a lot of those handoffs, a lot of those opposite side kickouts that, Randle's really getting back to his facilitating bag with usually end up in Evan Fournier's hands. So that was a really good thing to see. And hopefully we can see just a little bit more consistency from Evan, especially hearing the hot breathing of Cam Reddish and Burks and like all these young wings that are trying to vie for playing. Quentin Grimes as well. A lot of those young wings are vying for that playing time. So, as long as Evan Fournier can keep him at bay scoring like that, he's going to stay on the court.
This may be a little bit under the radar based on the outcome of the game against the Timberwolves, but I really hope that Nerlens Noel returns to health sooner rather than later. Because one of the key things down the stretch last night was that Taj Gibson and Mitchell Robinson, Cass, both fouled out.
Yeah.
So down 30 seconds to go, it had to be Julius Randle on Karl Anthony Towns. That's a tough matchup. He fouls Towns. Towns makes the bucket, and it ends up being a 3-point play. If you had Noel in the rotation, and let's say hypothetically Noel and Mitch both fouled out, then you could bring in Taj. They have to have the 3 centers for situations like this game against Minnesota. And Noel was so effective last year. He has been in and out of the lineup this year, obviously, with the health and safety protocols and problems with the knee. They need him back, and they need him healthy.
Yeah, people forget, even with the limited time he played, he was second in the entire NBA in block shots last year. So you're definitely going to need a lot of that rim protection if Nerlens is healthy. A little bit something we need to focus on. As great as RJ Barrett has played in the past couple of weeks, and we have heaped a ton of praise on the young star for the past couple of weeks, the turnovers were extremely costly yesterday. And that seems like it's going to come with the growth of being a young star in the NBA. The word is out. They know RJ Barrett is out there averaging close to 25 points a game in the month of January. People are going to key in on you. So I think RJ is that next level of his development into becoming a real star in this league is knowing not just the next pass, but the pass after that. There were so many times that people cut off his left hand and they knew exactly where he was going with that next pass, and it resulted in a lot of turnovers in that game. And it ended up costing the Knicks, Scoring-wise, he's still doing his thing. And obviously, when he's more efficient, the Knicks play extremely well, and he's good enough to carry them past those big games. But the next level in RJ Barrett's real star turn is being able to cut down on those turnovers and become much more of a facilitator. And to your point with the foul trouble from last night, a lot of the beneficiaries of those passes from RJ Barrett is usually Mitchell Robinson in the paint. And he can't really get that when he's in foul trouble sitting on the bench. So that's the next step for RJ, being a great facilitator, not just a great scorer.
And Kaz, also here, the next step for this team is to be able to finish in crunch time. They were right there the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. In the final 3:41, they didn't make a single basket. They scored 3 points. All 3 points came from the free throw line. Now, one of the issues, and Evan Fournier talked about a postgame, is that with no big out there, you had Julius Randle and 4 wings/guards. So it was a very unorthodox finishing fivesome for the Knicks, but still, for them to take that next step, they have to get more consistent when the game is on the line.
That's right. The Knicks are right there in the Eastern Conference playoff mix. So, you know, a good week or two, they could be in sixth. A bad week or two, they could be 13th or 14th. So you just kind of never know with this crazy Eastern Conference this year. But a good thing you can watch out for is they are getting healthy. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, Kemba Walker bringing in those 18 points, fresh off of missing a bunch of time, is great. Hopefully we hear some news from Derrick Rose getting to really get that bench together. The bench was a real strength for the Knicks in the beginning of the season, and they haven't been as much, especially guys like Obi, Quickly, the young guns that we love to see. You got to hope Derrick Rose gets healthy and really gets that bench back in order, and get Alec Burks back in there as well to really stabilize those guys and get them some real production. So lots to look forward to with this Knicks team in the second half of the season, but a little bit of a disappointment against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday night.
All right, that'll do it. Thanks so much for checking us out. Bill and Kaz here on Knicks in Six. We'll see you soon.